Welcome to Vision TV, the show all about the College of Arts and Sciences. And today we are going to share with you what I believe is a historical moment for the state of Mississippi. And joining me, Dr. Jeff Gout, who is with the Department of Biological Sciences. And what I love about your story is when I first met you, we met talking about eclipse and astronomy, but yet you're a biological sciences professor. So tell us a little bit about how you are a biological sciences professor, but you dabble in astronomy.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I talk more about astronomy than my work, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not.
It's good.
But yeah, I'm one of these people who has a hobby, taking a lot of my time after work. I got the chance to mix both by teaching an astrobiology class here at State. So that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. I hope the students enjoyed it too.
Yes.
Stargate is actually a pretty good place to do stargazing. So it's really nice to be able to mix work with a side hobby and get this in a nice place like Stargate. Yeah.
You might not remember this, but one of the first times I met you, I said, well, how did you get interested in astronomy? And you mentioned that a teacher told you it would be too many years of schooling, right? But yet you studied biological science.
Yeah, you have a very good memory.
I remember that.
Yeah, I had a fantastic physics and chemistry teacher in middle school. Like one of his teachers that set you up for life. That really helped change your trajectory. And yeah, I was dreaming of becoming an astronomer. I asked him what you have to do, and explained you have to do a PhD. And at the time, that sounded completely down. I was like, wait, I have to study for 8 years after high school? That's way too much. I'm never going to do that. And well, yeah, I ended up getting a PhD in biology. It's probably a good thing, keep your
pays the
hobby.
Bills, just kidding.
And maybe if I had done a PhD in astronomy, I would have gotten tired of it. I don't know. But yeah, there's a little bit of an irony there.
Yeah, but what I love about it, and really the whole purpose of having you on the show today, you've been on our show before, but you made a major discovery in astronomy. So tell us about what makes this historic as well.
Okay, I'm going to start by saying that I'm very happy about this discovery. I wouldn't say it's not a big deal for the field of astronomy.
Okay.
So the discovery...
It is for me.
But for me, it's a big deal. It is an asteroid. So just to say why it's not a big deal for the field, and then why it's a little bit of a big deal for me, there are about 1.5 million asteroids that we already know about in our solar system. So, it's one more that we know about. So, one more out of 1.5 million, it's not going to make the news. But the really cool thing is that this is the very first time that an asteroid was found from the state of Mississippi. So most of them, they're found from big observatories in Arizona, in Hawaii, in New Mexico, in California, in places where you have lots of big observatories, really good weather stats. There are a few amateurs who do asteroid hunting. There are a couple of really good ones actually just next door in Alabama. But now we can also say that Mississippi also, we've also discovered an asteroid from Mississippi.
So the first asteroid found in Mississippi.
From
an observatory.
From an observatory located in Mississippi.
And that observatory, we should say, is in your backyard?
It is nothing more than just a telescope in my backyard with what I call the observatory. It's just a shed. It looks like an outhouse, if you will. It's on wheels, so I can just roll the little shed out of the telescope and ready to observe. And then I can roll it back over the telescope to protect from the rain, days like today.
Yes. Well, and tell me about the moment when you realized you had discovered an asteroid.
Yeah, so it actually takes a bit of time. So the telescope was taking pictures throughout the night, and I had been doing that for already a couple of months, trying to find asteroids. And then I used a software that crunches all this data, basically it finds star-looking things that are moving through the field of view through time, and that's how you know that it's an asteroid. And then tries to match this to the database of known asteroids, and if it finds something that is not in the database, it might be a new one.
Okay.
Most of the time, it actually is not. Most of the time, it is an asteroid that has been observed just a few times before.
So you saw something somebody else had seen before.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one turns out had never been seen, but you cannot know that until you have more observations that come in that allow you to get a very precise calculation of its orbit, so you can find its position in the past to make sure that there was not some observations that were reported of it in the past. I don't even have to do that myself.
Yeah.
The Minor Planet Center, which is run out of Harvard, they're the ones who collect all the data, and they do that. So I will check every once in a while on their website, and eventually I saw that, yeah, I'm the first one on this one. There's a bunch of criteria. It's a little bit technical, but eventually I got the official discovery credit. So that I was more and more confident it was going to be the case.
But until you received official word.
Yeah, until it's official, you're always a little bit
cautious.
Yeah, yes.
And the other part too, from what I understand, you got to name, and I think it's wonderful, you've given it a name as well that relates to Mississippi State.
Yes, absolutely. So if you discover an asteroid, you get naming privileges for 10 years.
Oh.
After 10 years, the International Astronomical Union may decide to give a name for you, not your name, but instead of you. Mm-hmm. And there are a couple of rules that explain the names you can give and can't. So, for example, you cannot give a name of people known mostly for political activities,
Okay.
or for people who are in the military.
Okay.
So, if you wanted to give the name of,
You couldn't name it Karen Brown.
I could actually.
Oh. Okay.
Not this one. Not
Yeah,
this
not
specific
the-
one.
yeah.
I'm gonna
The
get.
next one.
I'm gonna get to why this one was a bit different.
Yeah.
But you could name it for your parents, your friends. You can name it for some artists that you like. I have a friend who named a bunch of asteroids for music bands, so including Rolling Stone, a very good one for
an asteroid.
Pink Floyd, Kate Bush, and
That's neat.
you can name it for the place you were born or something like that. Mm-hmm. Now, for this specific asteroid, it is a little bit special. So one thing about this asteroid is not part of what we call the main belt of asteroids, which is where most asteroids are in the solar system, between Mars and Jupiter. This one, it actually shares its orbit with the planet Jupiter.
Okay.
It's a family of asteroids that are called Trojans, because they were given names from heroes of the Trojan War.
Oh, neat.
Initially. There are only about 7,000 of these known. So that makes the discovery a little bit more interesting. Now we're not at just 1.5 million plus one. It's actually 7,000 plus one if you think of just this specific family of asteroids. And these ones, historically, the rule was that you had to give them a name for a hero of the Trojan War.
I love that.
And depending on which side of Jupiter they are, it has to be either from the Greek camp or from the Trojan camp.
Okay.
And that's one mistake. That's one. This one is in the Greek camp, if I remember correctly. But the problem is that worked when we had a few dozens of these that were known. Mm-hmm. Now there's 7,000. So the International Astronomical Union, they changed the rules so that now you can also name these after Olympic or Paralympic athletes.
Okay.
Which means, I couldn't. Initially, I wanted to name an asteroid for my grandfather because he's the one who bought my first telescope, and that was kind of the goal.
Yeah.
But now my grandfather never competed in the Olympics. So I figured, well, I'm going to see if, maybe one of the very early Mississippi athletes to go to the Olympics, and ideally maybe to even win a medal. So I did a bit of search, and I found on the Mississippi State website information about different Olympians. And I found this one, Commodore Cochrane. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. He won a gold medal as part of the 4x400 meters relay in the 1924 Paris Olympics.
Paris.
So I thought that was like perfect. That was like the, nice coincidence. It was almost 100 years before the discovery. It was the Olympics in Paris. And
it couldn't get any more perfect than that.
It was the very first Olympic gold medal from the state of Mississippi, from someone who was a student from Mississippi State.
That's
Even
so
for the
neat.
time it was called, what was the name of Mississippi State? Was
A&M?
Yes, right, that was A&M at the time. So I figured that was probably a good one to name. The funny thing is that doing research about that athlete, it turns out that one of his granddaughter wrote a whole manuscript about her father, who was the son of that person I named the asteroid for. And so she talked a little bit about her grandfather in that. So I learned a lot more about him. He grew up on a farm in rural Mississippi. So I grew up myself on a farm in rural France. So I thought that was a nice one.
You couldn't have found a more perfect match.
That was pretty good. I was happy with that. And I'm also glad I got to share the news with some of his grandkids who were very happy to learn about that.
Well, and the other part too that I think is so neat about you being an amateur finding this asteroid, the days of amateur asteroid finding are over. We've got a little bit of time. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the days are almost over. So the main reason astronomers look for asteroids is because we want to detect the ones that might collide with Earth.
Okay.
The ones that could be dangerous, which is not at all the case for this one. But in the process, you can find all types of asteroids. It's not like there's one part of the sky where the dangerous ones are. And, you look everywhere in the sky, and you will find both the ones that can hit Earth and the ones that are far away. And there's a very big telescope that is about to start its work in Chile. It's the Vera Rubin Observatory. So named for Vera Rubin, who was an American astronomer who was one of the early discoverers of dark matter. And this one is going to do it's supposed to do a very good job at finding these asteroids, and it's going to be completely out of reach for amateurs to discover this type of things. Well, so yeah, just
I hate that we are out of time, but the one part is you were able to do it before, and congratulations on an amazing find.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for watching Vision TV.